I refuse to. Well, I mean, we're not going to have this program anymore.
What?
I refuse to get rid of that Kat Macario just sitting on a stool image until she played. But it took so long for her to play. This show ended before she ever got minutes for SanDiego Wave.
Yeah, she's injured. The ship's not sinking. They're still in first place. You think the ship is sinking? 619 Soccer? I don't know.
619 Soccer is the biggest pessimist in San Diego.
I don't know if the ship's sinking. I think they're definitely making playoffs no matter what. Like Washington Spirit look unstoppable. I'll say that. But losing, this is I was thinking about the history of SanDiego Wave versus Angel City. This is the biggest loss Wave have had against Angel City in the 5-year history of this rivalry. They've never lost by more than one goal. So losing 2-0 at home too. It's kind of like, I don't want to say embarrassing. Maybe? Is that the right word? How much depends how much you value rivalries like this. Because let's think about, we're talking about Barcelona and Madrid. Madrid lose 2-0 against Barcelona at the Bernabeu. People are upset, right? Because that's the Clásico. That's a big deal. This is what the Wave and Angel City are hoping to create in the future. It's going to take some time. It's only been 5 years, but I think looking at like a 2-0 loss, you kind of got to be a little bit upset if you're like SanDiego. Hey man, you can't lose 2-0 at home against Angel City. Like that's tough. And they look really bad. Not bad, but they just didn't have anything offensively in the first half, and especially against the Angel City team that they fired their coach in the middle during the midseason break. So they have an interim coach, which they've been doing this. Like Angel City just fires their coaches all the time, and this new coach is kind of just decided like, hey, back to basics, 4-4-2. Jonas Eidevall even said it, like their tactics are very, very basic, and sometimes that's hard. He kind of said it like kind of as a diss, but it's like, hey man, you guys lost 2-0 to a team that's like using a very, very basic defensive strategy, which is like, hey, you guys can have the ball. We're sitting back on our 4-4-2. It's fine.
But you're allowed to have bad games.
Yeah, and that is true too. Definitely, that is also very true. You're allowed to have bad games. It's a rivalry game too, so Angel City's definitely getting up for the task. And I think just goalkeeper Luisa had a couple moments where she made some mistakes.
Terrible.
Giving up the goal.
Yeah, it's okay. They just beat Gotham 2-0. Coming back, you just lost your best player in Dudinha. Like I think Wave is okay. I think the team structure in general, the chemistry is still there.
Yeah.
This just was not a good game from SanDiego Wave. I don't think it's a panic mode button activate. I think Wave will be fine. Did any of us expect this? No, but you also can't, deny like, ooh, okay, is this the start of the downfall because it happened last season? You can see both, but again, I think the way the team is just reacting when they get scored on this year is very different than in the past. I think in the past they're like, oh, that's it, we're done. Like they scored on us, we're gonna give up. Like there's no reason in trying. This team is resilient. They still keep trying. They still keep trying to push and score goals. Whereas in the past, this team would just lose all life when they got scored on or made a mistake. And it's like, oh, why is this happening again to us? Like it's all going against us.
I was just looking at the numbers, right? Like that triad, that triumvirate, that Triton, Ludmila, Corley, Portillo, 29 games, 1 goal, 2 assists. Godfrey, Byers, Barcenas, 14 games, 11 goals, 4 assists.
Look, I'm not.
I think there's a question about like how the top 3 go, and I think a lot of it also has to do with how much minutes that like they're even being allowed to get. Because I don't think Byers can go a full 90 or even like a full 60. They haven't done it for her yet, and I think they should probably. Like Byers deserves a start over Ludmila. In my opinion.
But isn't that part of the strategy where you're throwing in Byers again, where she can give you a strong 30 minutes, where the other defense is a little worn out and tired, where Byers comes in as a firecracker, running past the defense, getting to score those goals. why mess with it? Like, keep that strategy going. Yeah, we want to see her start, but I'd rather have Byers coming in as a game changer
as much as she
than seeing Lumilda come on where she's not really going to make an impact in the last 30 minutes of the game. I'd rather finish the game strong. That's been a thing where Jonas Eidevall has talked. Like, we have not played a full 90 minutes. Now they're able to play that because you have these key players that can play significantly well and strong in certain aspects of the game and certain moments of the game. I think that's what's working out for San Diego Wave so much. Yes, it sucks that you lost Lumilda. Yes, you're hoping that Macario is able to come back. Dudiña, sorry, yeah. You still have a solid foundation with these players. Like, you're at a point where you're able to take out Ken Sadali in the game and throw in another player in that midfield.
Like,
so you're legit on a good, like,
I think the strategy's worked so far, and I think Jonas Eidevall has his handle on the NWSL, and at the very least, this team's going to make the playoffs, and they're still performing at a pretty high level that I
think they'll finish top 3.
Make the playoffs, and top 3 is also in the cards right now too. Yes.
They're fighting for the shield. Like, don't rule them out. They're fighting for this. Yeah, Washington Spirit has 2 games in hand, but you never know what can happen. You know, at where it currently stands, San Diego Wave is fighting for that shield.
That's true. 28 points.
They do have reinforcements technically coming on. Paños just landed in San Diego a couple of days ago, so she's not available to play. She will be soon. Yeah. The question is, when is she going to start?
Technically, she's like available for selection, but Jonas kind of said like she needs to train. She needs to join training first.
And then Macario.
Those are things where I'm like, I understand you need players, but the level of this goalkeeper speaks for itself. Like, this player should be starting this next game.
Paños?
Yeah, like there's no reason why this goalkeeper should not be starting this next game. I get it. She has to train, adapt, and all this. You're not going to have her train for a whole month without playing already. Like, you need to throw her into the
It is different when it's like a goalkeeper compared to every other position. And I think a goalkeeper is a lot easier to just plug and play, right? Like,
I mean, you've been doing that this whole season, just plugging and playing different random goalkeepers. So might as well just throw her in there.
I don't think it's time to, like you're saying, panic though. Like, no, it's way too early. It's the first 2 games coming back from this break. One, they look good against the reigning defending champions. One, not too good. And yes, Luisa had a lot to do with it. The first goal, for sure, it's on her. Second goal, on the defense. Why is the ball bouncing around in the small box?
Yeah,
like, don't do that.
The throw in set piece thing, you don't see it a lot in the NWSL, but it worked really well for Angel City. I think Angel City can make a run for the playoffs this year. If they keep playing like this, Angel City did look pretty good.
In NWSL, I think those long set piece throw-ins would actually be very successful if more teams did them, because the defending isn't sound when it comes to clearing the ball in those spaces and just panicking. But then San Diego Wave, guess what? They were still trying, they were going and trying to come back into this game. Late in the match, foul inside the box, penalty.
And this is where I started to like get a little frustrated, because so they don't show this on the broadcast obviously, but like Gia Corley's holding the ball, standing over the spot, and I'm like, okay, Gia Corley. I was thinking to myself, Gia Corley's not taking it. She's holding the ball for someone else. Trinity, I thought they let Trinity Byers do it. Maybe they even let like Kennedy Wesley do it. She's a defender, but that's what I was thinking. But they give the ball to Leah Godfrey, which is like, okay, that's fair too.
I don't like rookies taking penalties.
You don't like who
rookies?
Rookie? Okay, I
don't like rookies taking penalties. Like, give it to an experienced player.
That's true.
Like, I would have rather have Corley take this penalty.
And that's what I was thinking too. Like, Corley, like, she kind of deserves a chance at the penalty here too. And when I looked into the history, because after they missed this penalty, I was like thinking to myself, when was the last time they made a penalty? Was it like in Alex Morgan? I was like, I couldn't even remember, because I remember Morgan missed it when she was here too, or in her last game. So I looked into it. San Diego Wave's last penalty kick that they made was May 8th, 2024 by Jaden Shaw.
Over 2 years ago.
Over 2 years ago. And like so many coaches ago, such a different team, and they haven't made a penalty in that entire time, which is just like five attempts, 5 misses. This isn't counting the Liga MX X Liga. What's it called? NWSL X Liga MX Feminine Summer Cup.
Yes.
They tied Angel City 0-0 at Cal State Fullerton and went to penalty kicks. They only made 3 out of 5 technically in that one. So still just not good. Like, you got to be better at penalties, man. You got to make at least 1 in 5. Like, that's such a bad conversion rate. Like, they need to start making these penalties. And like Jonas kind of said, like, yep, these margins, like, sometimes they just don't go your way. That was like after I asked him about it, but like you gotta make at least one of these penalties, man. It's kind of crazy.
So the question is, if Jonas thinks Byers is one of the best finishers he has ever seen, why isn't she taking the PK?
Yeah, that's completely true as well. Yeah, Byers can take it. Kennedy Wesley, who's on the U.S. Women's National
The
Team,
ref
can
diced
take it.
her?
Trinity Armstrong, she did a little bit, like kind of a little mini version of what the ref did to Mbappe in the game on Saturday. She was, because the Gia Corley, Ari Borges, and number 6 on Angel City. I'm not entirely sure who it was, but they were all kind of like bunching together. So the ref went and was like, "Stop touching each other," blah, blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
like getting super mad at them, and then like went back to go.
Let's
give the
let's be
penalty.
real though. You score this. Was the team playing to the level where they would have tied?
No, I don't think so. They were putting shots on target, but you get up 2-1. I don't think so, because Angel City was still doing well defensively.
It's a momentum shift, and it could happen.
It could happen, yeah.
But the way the whole game was going, like you weren't going to win this game. Maybe you pull off the tie, which again, it's a point like against Angel City. But like this game was written for San Diego to not win, and again, that's okay. Like, you're not going to win every single game, especially some of the ones at home. And that's how this league goes. You can lose to anyone and you can beat anyone. And this was one where Wave did not win. And I'd rather they get these losses out of the way now, so then they can still like learn from it, finish strong, and get the wins later where it does matter. Again, I still think they're in a very good spot. No need to panic yet.
They got KC Current on Friday, which should be a fun game. KC Current has not been the world beaters that they have been in the past. I think they lost 3-0 to Orlando.
KC Current hasn't tied a single game this season, so
so I don't know what's kind of gone on with them. Like, it's the anti-Vlaco thing. Like, maybe the coach, I don't know. They have the coach from the MLS from Colorado, who it's just kind of weird that they even brought him on after Vlaco was doing so well with them. But KC's still a class team, and then they're going to be playing at CPKC Stadium, which is one of the top
game's on Friday.
Stadiums. Yeah, on Friday. So that's gonna be an exciting game. I'll be interested, be watching, be covering it, be in the post game press conference probably. I was here in this post game press conference. I think I got the first question.
First
a
question.
Awkward. I'm not a big first question. Tony loves the first question. I'm always just like, sure. If no one's gonna raise their hand, I'm freaking raise my hand, I guess.
Never gonna ask another question again.
I think Angel City, if we start with them, like they play
sponsored by Kirk.
A very hard-working defense. They run a lot of meters as a team.
It's not good.
Obviously, that
Let me help you out with that.
To have more quality on the ball and be able to move them. And we don't have that in the first half. We're not good enough in the first half, not from a technical level in the game, and that puts us into a lot of problems. That's something we have to look ourselves in the mirror and saying, what with the way that we are playing, we have to have higher standards than we have in the first half. So it's a combination. I think Angel City works really, really hard in their defense, but we are nowhere near good enough on the ball in the first half.
Can you speak a little bit about how you handle penalties as a coach, how you choose players, and how much that's trained on? It's been since, I think, May 2024, since the way it was made on penalty.
Yeah, when you say made a penalty kick, it's like we scored on a penalty.
No, Jonas.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pause.
That specific correction there.
Okay.
I was like, I was like, okay, I guess maybe it's the language thing. But looking back on it now, he was annoyed that I asked that question, so he went after the way that I asked the question. So that's what happened, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay,
He's trolling you.
Okay, he's trolling me a little. Okay, I in the moment I was like, look at his eyes.
Yeah, when you say made a penalty kick, it's like we scored on a penalty. I know we practice penalties.
I think he just was unaware of that stat.
You think so?
They made a penalty, like maybe you cost the penalty, you made the
No,
penalty.
I think that's him processing
score.
oh, we
haven't
haven't
scored a penalty.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, like since then, maybe. I don't take away that he might actually be taking the piss on you.
Maybe, which is okay. Sure. Coaches are allowed to do that, and I do love it when coaches.
And the philosophy is that we try to take the best penalty shooter to take the penalty as well.
I'm also not taking the ball for them.
To my mind comes, I know we had a penalty with Maria Sanchez last season. We had a penalty at home here against Bay, right? And we had this one here. So, yeah, it's one of those to say that, of course, we want to score on penalty kicks. But sometimes you don't have the margins on that, and then you have to work on the different areas on the field.
Maybe this is like, actually, you know what? Looking back now, Jonas is never, I don't think he's ever called out a player like specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Or when we ask about a specific play, he never like says like, yeah, that was not a good thing. So maybe that's him protecting Godfrey a little bit, which is, I think, fair and good. A lot of coaches will do that. If you're asking about a specific issue, especially when it comes to penalties, Leah Godfrey is the one that's going to get the blame for that. So then he's going to be like, I'm not going to say anything about that, because then it's just him criticizing Godfrey, which is I guess, a fair response.
What do you think of Dali? Why is she not having such an impact season this season?
Father time.
What do you mean by what do you mean by impactful? Like not like stat wise? Because I mean, she's not a stat player, but I think she's still the flow of the midfield is still solid.
Yeah,
I think that's her impact. Like, yeah, she may not go the full 90. Maybe she's not 100%. She's also getting on the older side as well. And you have other players that you're able to give opportunity to, like Kimi Ascanio stepping up, Sarah stepping up.
Gia
Corley can play there.
I think a part of the issue too was that Savannah McCaskill was really good in the midfield as well, and the connection there really helped them out, because Savannah McCaskill defensively as well, like just her presence back there made it so that Kenza Dali was able to do more up top a little bit. She's playing, even though she wasn't technically the 10, I think it was probably more Gia Corley as the 10 last year. Kenza Dali is also like a second 10 kind of, because that's her natural like position. She wears number 10, So this year, I don't know if maybe there's a little bit more liability on the defensive side that she's had to worry about. So that's why it hasn't looked as impactful. But I still think you have to keep her as a starter.
I think her role this year is more include the rest of the midfield, whereas last season
that's true.
It was a lot of throw it to Cascarino on the wing, go there, take the shot, run a lot of stuff through you, where now they're really solidifying that foundation of like trust Kimi Ascanio more, trust Gia Corley more, and she's really relying on the other players, where ultimately we're not seeing her get all the glory and the spotlight, which is okay. Sometimes some of the best players in the midfield are the players that you don't really hear the name too often, but they're connecting those key passes, and they're passing the pass to the assist, like they're starting those plays.
I think the offense of the Wave is like also in real time being forced to develop in a not completely, but in a pretty new way without Dudinha on the left wing, because everything was kind of pushed to the left side this season, or at least in the first half of the season, because of Dudinha and how like great she was to start out the year. So now they have to kind of decide, like, are we going to go to the left? Are we going to force everything down the right? Who's up there right now? Melanie Varsenas is kind of like moving all around the top. She doesn't really stay always on the right. So it's a little bit different. They're trying to figure it all out in real time, but I could definitely see it like developing and working really, really well if the team can like find each other and kind of choose one path to go down.
Yeah, but Wave season is underway. They played 2 games there. The season is, back in full force. They stand in first place right now. Spirit with 2 games in hand. Gotham with 2 games in hand, 4 points behind. But I like where they're standing. I think we all can say that confidently. Where, they're in a good spot. And more games are going to keep happening, and we're going to see what happens.
Next run of games, you got at Kansas City on Friday.
That's a win.
Sunday, 26 against Seattle Reign.
That's a win.
I think they're always not very great against the Reign. Okay,
It's a win.
I can see that's a draw. At Washington Spirit on August 2nd.
Loss.
That's a tie. No, I'm just
That's a
kidding.
loss.
I don't know. They've already bit the Spirit once.
And then at Gotham FC on the 7th. This is like probably like the toughest run they're gonna have the second half of the season. So you get at Gotham FC on the 7th, and then you play Denver, should be a win, but then by then Lindsay Heaps will be playing, so it's gonna be a different type of Denver. Versus Utah. Utah kind of hasn't looked as good. So I think this section of the season is gonna be like really tough on the Wave, but if they can get through it with some points, they have a chance at the Shield. But it's gonna be close. They have to be.
The Shield is up for grabs
That's
for
true.
any of those top 5 teams. But yeah, anything else, Wave?
They signed Trinity Byers to an extension.
Yeah.
On last Thursday they announced it, so that's kind of a big thing.
So surprising.
It's someone they're gonna have to keep someone up top. Leon probably doesn't come back next year.
It's not a surprise at all. Like, you got to keep her.
Yeah, she's been good, and then maybe now that's how you like justify her not starting, because then it's like we're gonna use the crap out of her over the next 3 years, so protect her minutes now. Kimi Escanio still not signed. Honestly, like the longer she goes without an extension, the longer it's like, is she gone?
She gone to Europe.
To Europe, you think? I think another NWSL team will pay top dollar for her.
Oh, and if you let her go, if you're San Diego Wave,
I mean, you let Jaden Shaw go.
and she won a championship.
It's gonna be tough. But yeah, I could see Escanio leaving. Many Vacenas also not under contract, so that's gonna be.
NWSL contracts sometimes are a little weird.
What is that? Is a good point, Brad. I forgot about that. The English midfielder that they signed. I haven't heard anything about that. You would have heard it at some point already.
And maybe that's the help Kenza needs. Or maybe that's a Kenza
replacement. I mean, is Kenza's in the contract?
Where was this player from West Ham, I think?
I forget where. It was Harvey or something, or Harvard. I'm not sure. Pearl Maroney on an expiring contract. They proved it with Hanna Lundqvist that they're willing to bring on a college player to take over that spot, and then they just kind of did it. So honestly, they might put Trinity Armstrong in the left back spot. Trinity Armstrong is a player that, I mean, they put her up in the 9 in this last game, so it's Waves all over the place. But they're
in first place.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's working.
Something's working.